When Billy McNeill was reappointed manager of Glasgow Celtic in the club's centenary year, it was the maintenance of a long tradition. Throughout Celtic's history, the man who worries on the sidelines has always first proved his commitment to the team on the field of play. Billy McNeill's connection with the club goes back to his teens.
As usual, Billy McNeill will be up for this. There's McNeill to go.
He became an inspiring captain of the finest team so far to wear the Celtic colours. They would become known as the Lisbon Lions after lifting the European Cup. They and the players who came after them would win a record 9 league titles in a row. His first spell as manager continued his success. Between 1978 and 1983, his teams won 3 league titles, a Scottish Cup and a Scottish League Cup. In 1987, Caesar was back at the club he considers unique.
I put it down to the background of the club. It was founded by immigrant Irishmen, so there's something immediately romantic about that these Irish people come to Scotland they start a new life and they start a football club. I think it's magnificent. I think it goes right back to that. But for me, the biggest feeling about it is that we are an underdog.
By 1987, arch-rivals Rangers had bought themselves a formidable team and Celtic were underdogs again. McNeill had to hope his less expensive new players would come good fast.
There's a nice dummy. Billy Stark has scored.
I've never been so nervous in all my career as I was that morning. My wife will verify that. I just was snapping back at her all morning, so to get the goal so early in the game played a large part in helping the Celtic support to accept me, having played against them all these years.
The stadium may change, but the passion that fills it remains the heart of Celtic.
I've been fortunate enough that I've had a fairly good relationship with the fans over the years. And it does help. I mean, it does help your confidence. It helps you to relax in the park. And it's been said umpteen times that the fans are worth a goal of a start to us. There's no doubt about it. The first sight you get of support is when you come down through the tunnel. And it's the jungle, probably the most famous part of the stadium. And I mean, when that's full, there's no better sight in the world than to see the scarves flying or whatever in the jungle.
The intensity of the fans has always fueled itself on the performance of great individualists within the team.
Jimmy Johnston. I saw the first game Jimmy Johnston ever played for Celtic. It was in a, well, I'm sure it was the first. It was a Scottish Cup tie. And this wee red-haired man ran on, and everybody knew his name, but nobody had seen him. I went, my God, what's that? It was like a wee miniature Bobby Evans.
Colvin towering above him. Now you see why Celtic decided to play this little boy today.
One of McNeill's problems was to find players who might inspire a similar excitement.
He had a chance now for Walker. It's Andy Walker going through, and Roberts. No mistake this time. Celtic are in front.
But great moments wouldn't be enough. The strength of teams like Rangers constantly threatened to spoil Celtic's dreams of success in their centenary season.
Oh, that's good running by Durant. He's away from Rogan. The early ball inside. McCarthy did well with the header, but it's Durant again. The last chance perhaps for Rangers. The chance is on for goal. Richard goal.
You had to wonder if the present Celtic players could carry the weight of their own tradition.
They talk about players 15 years ago as if they were still playing today, and they've never seen them play. Well, I'd talk about Celtic players I'd never seen play. You know, it's amazing.
Remembering is a creative process, a long accumulation of lost Saturday afternoons when the action was sometimes less than dramatic, can be transformed in folk memory into a series of legendary figures. Jimmy Quinn, between 1904 and 1910, spearhead of the team that won 6 league titles in a row, a record at that time. His fame justifiably long outlasted his career. As late as 1937, the mighty Quinn, by now grey-haired, along with then current players Willie Buchan and Johnny Crumb, remain part of living history. Later teams that couldn't quite match that achievement still provided a setting for talents just as memorable, if sometimes physically very different. Patsy Gallagher, with a brilliance and stamina that belied his body, and so much a part of Celtic folklore that he's referred to simply as Patsy. Jimmy McGrory, who seemed to be capable of heading a ball from any angle. No matter what pressure Celtic might be under, his attacking ability could turn the tide. He scored 550 goals in first-class football, a record still unequalled in Britain. Those who saw him had a lot of exciting moments to replay in the memory. The man perhaps most lovingly remembered of all was a miner from Cardenden and Fife, John Thompson. He was a goalkeeper who was utterly fearless, at a time when goalkeepers had a lot more to fear than they do today. He was sporting and graceful and gracious. The emptiness left by his tragic early death can be sensed from the thousands of people at his funeral. Through even the lean times, the Celtic tradition stayed alive in great individual players. They gave the fans the thrill of an unmistakable style that often blossomed into success.
The ball kicked forward, and after a scramble, it's Celtic Motherwell for the final as Tully scores the winning goal. MacPhail gets the ball, beats two defenders, lobs over Johnston, and it's a goal. And here's Celtic with the cup. Their 16th success, and that's something to be proud about.
In season 1987-88, being able to continue that success was not a certainty.
It's Clark, would you believe?
But at 2 goals down against Dundee United, a determination that promised well began to assert itself.
Shepherd with the shot, and it's there. 2-1.
Towards the end of the year, Celtic served notice that a long fighting tradition was on their side.
That's it, 2-1.
It was appropriate that the equaliser in that game should come from a family long associated with the club.
Everybody's in. Next day, the equaliser.
I don't think there's any pressure on us, no. Not from the family anyway. They just let us go out and play football and just enjoy it. I think if I didn't make it with Celtic, they'd still back me all the way, but the great uncles played with Celtic. And then myself, Willie and Raymond have been involved at Parkhead, and it's great for the family.
The McStays typify one strand of the Celtic story, the way in which some family names have dominated the history of the club. James Kelly, great player with the first Celtic team. Sir Robert Kelly, son of James, and for 24 years chairman of Celtic. His vision would help to develop Celtic in one important respect. From the time of the first manager, Willie Maley, despite Celtic's rejection of any religious bias in the signing of players, sectarianism in the Scottish game had become part of a big business. The rivalry with Rangers as the essential definition of the club would continue through the time of Jimmy McStay and on into the managership of Jimmy McGrory, at least in the eyes of a lot of football fans.
Bona was sitting one day at half-time in the dressing room at the Rangers game at Parkhead, and we were getting beaten at half-time, and Bona was sitting with his head in his hands like this, and the boss, Jimmy McGrory, he always tried to keep us all buoyed up all the time, and he said, "What's the matter, John?" "Oh," John said, "did you not hear that crowd at boss?" He says, "It's really sickening. They called me a papish so-and-so." "Oh," I said, "what are you talking about? Don't worry about that." I said, "They called me that too." John says, "I know, but you are one."
The success of Glasgow Celtic tended to be measured against the failure of Glasgow Rangers. The two teams had dominated Scottish football for so long that a goal scored in one of their matches was celebrated like 3 in any other. Celtic's overwhelming victory in the 1957 League Cup final became for their fans instantly historic. But a different kind of history was only a decade away. The man who was to create that new sense of what Celtic stood for was Jock Stein, the big man. In one way, he continued an old tradition. He had enjoyed a successful, if brief, career as a player with Celtic. A former coach with Celtic as well, he became manager in 1965. He brought with him a new vision of the club.
Lots of people think that if they win the two Rangers games, Celtic supporters may feel that. If you win the two Rangers games, that's all that matters. That's not important anymore as far as I'm concerned. You just get the same 2 points for beating Aberdeen or Hibs or Hearts or Airdrie or Kilmarnock as you do for beating Rangers.
Bob Kelly had the wisdom to give Jock Stein his head with the Celtic team, trusting to a brilliant pragmatism, unequalled in the history of club football. Success was not long in coming. Players and fans alike responded to the influence of Jock Stein. In 1967, with the League Cup already won, Celtic beat Aberdeen 2-0 to take the Scottish Cup. Willie Wallace scored both goals. But it was a comprehensive team victory in attacking style. The omens were good that Billy McNeill would become more practiced in lifting trophies.
I like the players I'm working with. The directors I work with are very good as well, so I've got no complaints. And the most important thing is, I like the people who support us. I like to see them getting a bit of success. And I'm egotistical enough to think that if I'm here, we'll have reasonable success anyway. Maybe wrong in that, but quite happy with it.
He wasn't wrong. Celtic clinched the league title, drawing 2 each with Rangers. That success might have satisfied the Celtic fans, but Jock Stein saw a larger destiny for the team founded for Irish immigrants. To realise his dream of a Celtic beyond domestic success, all his skills would be needed.
He was able to deal with very sophisticated players, of whom he had several, and he was able to deal with sort of wild eccentrics like Jimmy Johnston. And he dealt with each one individually, got the best out of them, but always thought of the performance as a team performance. Stein's teams at their best played in a Celtic way. They were unmistakably Celtic teams. They played with verve. They just tore the opposition apart. When they were right, when they weren't, they would fiddle around and try to hold their ground until they felt better about themselves. But when they beat Inter Milan and Lisbon, the glory of it was that they did it in a way that represented all the best traditions of Celtic, but they also represented the way Stein had always felt about the game.
The realisation of dreams doesn't come easy. Being already a caution, the rest of the Celtic performance, with special assistance from Stevie Chalmers, underlined the statement. That afternoon in Lisbon saw not just a Celtic victory, but acknowledgement of the Irish contribution to the style of modern Scotland. Though television sets back home had gone beyond sectarianism, celebrating an expression of Scottishness.
It sounds over-romantic, but when Jock got a Scottish team to play like that, he was, in a sense, saying that someone like himself, who had spun round the closed poles in the Miners' Rows in Lanarkshire when he was playing in the kick-around matches at first, that he would show Helenia Herrera and all the sophisticates of Europe. He would show Helenia Herrera and all the sophisticates of European football that people coming from that background could do the job in them.
The job continued to be done.
It's a goal! What a beautiful goal for Celtic! Tommy Gemmell, what a shot! Oh, that was a goal to match the one he scored in Lisbon in 1967.
Celtic weren't going to find it easy to match their overall performance in Lisbon, but they continued to do creditable things.
4 defenders coming back, but Wallace, it's a goal from an impossible angle. This is number 2.
The great Portuguese team Benfica went down 3-0 at Celtic Park.
Good, it's number 3.
Obviously going to be a game for brave men.
At Hampden Park in 1970, they took on Leeds United to last the night.
Celtic now had 7 corners. Leeds
would match those of 67, but Stein went on to produce great domestic teams and to recruit, with assistant Sean Fallon, other exciting talents.
Just a foot shooting, he's done it.
Steve Murray. Dixie Dean's coming well, what a chance for Dean! Dixie Dean's the scorer.
That's a tremendous record against Hibs though, isn't it? Yeah, the two hat-tricks in the cup finals, Scottish Cup, League Cup final of course. He scored about 19 and all against Hibs. Yeah.
I mean, it was maybe a daft question, Dixon, but why was that? Why do you think that happened against Hibs so much?
Didn't like the green jersey. I don't know. Well, I think all players have got their favourite grounds or teams to play against, but it turned out to be Hibs' mine.
Along with Dixie Deans, Danny McGrain, over a 20-year career, arguably the most consistent player in Celtic's history. Along with them, the most successful Scottish player of all time.
Douglas. It's a great goal. Oh, absolutely superb.
But all the success didn't prevent a troubled departure from Celtic for the greatest club manager ever. If one picture is worth 1,000 words, put your own text to this one. Jock Stein never did take that seat on the board. Billy McNeill proved to be an impressive successor, turning out attacking teams with exciting skills, exemplified by Charlie Nicholas. But despite continued success on the field, Billy McNeill's first spell as Celtic manager was to last only 5 years. Jock Stein's departure had ushered in the most troubled managerial phase in the club's history. In 1983, McNeill was replaced by Davy Hay. In his 4 years as manager, Hay led Celtic to the winning of 1 Scottish Cup and 1 league title.
Oh, good pace by Archdeacon. Well, that's better. Johnson done it again.
Mo Johnson was only one of the accomplished strikers at Celtic Park during Hay's time. Even more impressive was Brian McClare, for 4 seasons top goal scorer at the club.
Down with a chance for McClare. He's done it again.
Both men were to leave shortly after Davy Hay, who was replaced by Billy McNeill in 1987. With Murdo MacLeod going as well, McNeill would have to weld a new cohesion out of established Celtic players and newcomers.
Joe Miller stepping away from Law. Next day's pass was McAvinny. In the middle is Andy Walker. And Celtic are ahead.
The rebuilding would have to take place under constant pressure. The season had a special significance for the club, and they wanted not just to win, but to win in the traditional Celtic way. The defence was solid, but Celtic has always been defined by the quality of its attacking play.
Headed by McCormick. It's on by Rogan. Here's McAvinny.
We're very fortunate, and possibly players are fortunate coming to this club, forward-going players, because we do make a lot of chances, and our emphasis on attack and scoring goals.
McNeill put together a team in which just about every player, not just the strikers, could do the finishing.
Appeals for handball against Goff. It's still not clear for Rangers. There's Paul McStay. Paul McStay with the opening goal.
By defeating Rangers in a crucial league game, Celtic virtually killed off the challenge of their greatest rival. McNeill's new players were coming good.
There's Tommy Burns with the in-swinger. It's in! It's come off Andy Walker.
What can you say, no? Man scores over 30 goals his first season in Parkhead, and just brilliant. I think a lot of people thought Andy wasn't a prolific goal scorer, but I think he's proved them wrong this year, and just the work rate of Andy and Frank up front is tremendous.
Celtic were looking for the double.
And again, Whittaker up goes. It's in. It's a goal. There's a loud protest, but the goalkeeper was fouled.
Against Hearts, they came with the late rally that had been the hallmark of their season.
Henry Smith is up. They can't get it in. It's gone in. Mark McGee.
In the Hearts game, the semi-final, when we pulled it back to 1 each. There was, I think, a free kick at the halfway line, and maybe a lot of teams would have settled, and maybe some of our minds were not settled 1 each. We'll go for a replay, and then you heard this voice for the back, come on, we can do it, and that was it. The man is tremendous.
There's Billy Stark. Corner kick just saved. It's a tantalising one. Goals given. Walker is getting the congratulations.
That's an amazing thing about Celtic. They seem to do it, not only at the 11th hour, but at the most dramatic time. What is this about?
This is a new thing. I mean, there are people here saying, oh, it's all right, there's a minute and a half to go. Settling down. And this is a very new thing, but all I think it is the manifestation of 90 minutes, don't let go.
That's Rogan. That must be a great chance. Must be yes.
Billy McNeil's achievement had been to create a team that didn't just gain success, but success with a recognisably Celtic style.
Trying to swing it round, that's a very good ball. Walker has done it. What a fine goal.
The easiest thing is to buy players and go and look at players and just bring them to the club, and from whatever background. I like to bring players to the club that can quickly have a feeling and get a feeling for Celtic if they haven't already got that. I think the success that we had this season goes down to the fact that these players feel very, very strong for the club, and they have got this good Celtic feeling about them.
He's a great manager, he's a great motivator, and he's got a tremendous will to win, and that rubs off on the rest of the players. He's the most successful manager I've ever played under. The last spell he was here, we won 3 championships, a Scottish Cup and a League Cup. And already he's back and we've won the league and hope for the cup.
They knew the history, those fans who followed Celtic to Hampden, and those who, unable to get tickets, gathered together to watch on television. They were part of the same tradition. The descendants of the original Celtic fans weren't just coming to see the cup final, but to reaffirm the conviction that lay behind the club's foundation, that they had cause for pride and that they belonged where they were as part of Scotland. They arrived, as they always have done, like a crucial 12th man in the team, determined to will the players into achieving the result they wanted.
Celtic in their centenary year. Dundee United 21 years younger. Almost an infant by comparison. Different style. Or McStay. It's more like McStay. Akabini, and that must be just pushed away. Oh,
but football doesn't always obey the will of the fans.
Oh, well, I shouldn't have got into that position. Kevin Gallagher. Free kick. And Gallagher really badly down there. Bannon taking it. Well, he found the gap all right. Gallagher's goal.
Even one goal down well into the second half, players and fans maintained belief in themselves.
Way to the far side, here's Rogan. That's a better one, it's equaliser.
There's something magical definitely about it, especially this year, the centenary year. It's just been one dream from start to finish. Everything's going so well, but you knew everything was going to go well. There was something inside you that told you, when 3 minutes to go in the semi-final, and then, in the cup final as well. You just knew we were going to do it.
We're in for the final minute. The lower one this time, and Mundy.
One of the interesting mysteries of Celtic is how a group of people, fans and players, can bring their passion and commitment and skill to the most unpredictably fluid ball game in the world and oblige it to agree with their sense of themselves.
There's a fairy tale about this club, and I think it's almost as if the fairy tale has once again come true. There's an ingredient with this club that you can't quite put into words. I think it goes back to the very early days that I think it was founded for the very right reasons, and I think those reasons have stayed with us.
I think that Celtic will always want to play in a way that entertains their fans, certainly always trying to win the game in as convincing a fashion as possible. And I think that that's what really attracts Celtic supporters to Celtic Park. The fact that they're coming to see a somewhat cavalier approach to football, and people who are really trying to play football in a sense that expresses the better aspects of the game. And I think that's what the people love, and I think they'll always love that as long as we play it that way.
The team of the Irish immigrants has climbed a long, sweat-stained way to some unexpected places. Their supporters have climbed with them. They're with them still. Joe Gallagher, who has won a cup of his own as Celtic's greatest supporter, speaks for the crowd.
My ambition is to do another 9 in a row. That's my ambition. 8 to go. So it's up to the man up there and Billy. I've no fear about Billy. This geezer.
Whatever you feel about their past or believe about their future, it would have to be admitted that the score so far is Celtic 100, defeatism 0.